Hey guys, what's going on? Back with another Call of Duty video, and for this one I want to talk about the recent news that Call of Duty 2021 is going to be another World War II game, but it's going to be called World War II Vanguard. And this goes actually back to the original World War II game, an idea that I had back then, but because of COVID-19 I have more time now to talk about it than I did back then. And it's an amazing backstory or something that I would love to see in the new game. Because I always tell people I love connecting stuff together, having it have a meaning rather than just giving it to us and then be done with it forever. I like movies and authors and directors that link all their works together. I guess Stephen King's a good example. Um, Quentin Tarantino is a good example. How they actually start blending or creating their own universe. And this, again, really quickly goes back to something that happened in Cold War, where I made a video in 2020 on January 26th. After doing some research, some people might not know, and I tell people I stop giving out answers. I just leave it on the internet. Whoever wants to find it can find it and look at it and watch it. I think people that go looking and searching stuff themselves are going to appreciate the answers and solves a lot better than if you just hand stuff to people. They're just going to be skeptical. But people who actually go doing their research and digging are going to appreciate a lot of stuff that they find. So I made a video talking about Lee Ross, how he did a great job with Infinite Warfare and blending the Ether story within Infinite Warfare Zombies. So at the time, before Cold War even got a name, we were under the speculation that Lee Ross was coming to Treyarch to be the new director of Zombies, and I said, well, given what I've known or saw from Infinite Warfare, how it's taken in the Ether story has to do with Monty and the um, infinite number of realities that he talked about. I said how cool it would be to kind of give an explanation of the B-17 and Nocturne on Toten. I would love for Cold War to have a Nocturne on Toten explanation of the B-17, maybe a backstory about how it crashed and why it's there, why it's on fire, and stuff like that. Or kind of show like what might have happened, to make the plane crash and why it was there in the first place. So that ended up happening in Cold War. We ended up getting Die Machine. They gave us a backstory about the Nazis and the time not time machine but the particle accelerator. So that ended up great, and I thought it was a good story. Again, Die Machine, the Cold War Zombies trailer got 7,000 views. It's on track to break a ton of probably records. I think right now Transit is the Zombies trailer that has the most views with 9. It's about to hit 9 million. So they did 7 million views in 6 months. So I'm trying to almost, like, I know people call that stuff like a lightning in a bottle. So I'm trying to almost have another like make lightning strike twice, so to speak. And I had a great idea back in 2017, like I said, with the first original World War II, and hopefully it'd be the same thing where, like, I love a universe that's blending together. Stuff makes sense. You're doing stuff for a reason, and it kind of gave a backstory of the B-17. And just to quickly explain what I'm talking about is Willard Wyler was based off a real director, a German director, like Kino der Toten. It's kind of based off of a real director in real life. Well, it is. And he ended up having a real life movie about a B-17. I said, well, is that where Lee Ross is going? If not, that would be a great idea if we had a story about a B-17, or gave the explanation of the B-17. We went back to Nocturne on Toten. So again, trying to have lightning strike twice. Here now is the Atlas Corporation that from Advanced Warfare that Sledgehammer also made, I think in 2014, I believe. So the Atlas Corporation is, I guess let's just say, a biotech company made created by Jonathan Irons, who's the antagonist, and he ends up creating a zombie virus at the Atlas Corporation, and they end up causing a zombie outbreak. Atlas Corporation. I think the year is about 2060 or 2080 that Advanced Warfare takes place. So again, this is an idea that I had in 2017. I said, well, how cool would it be to link World War II in 2017 to Atlas Corporation, make it have some um, credibility, I guess, in one sense, and have it have or have a reason, basically. Like, it's okay to make a World War II game, it's okay to make an Advanced Warfare game, it's okay to make a Modern Warfare game, like past, present, and future, but have it all blend in the same universe and have a reason. So again, following along the same lines as Cold War, and the original Nocturne Turton World at War, and Infinite Warfare Zombies, how it all blended together to give us Die Machine. Why not do the same thing for World War II Vanguard, where now, as you can see, it's the Atlas Corporation. So and again, keeping along the same lines of reality and fiction, blurring the lines, like oh, that could really I could see that happening in real life. I think that's the one thing that's great watching certain movies. Like, wow, that's so believable that can actually happen. Especially if it's like a horror movie that you end up leaving thinking like, oh my gosh, that alien invasion could actually happen, or something like that. So now, again, this is an idea that I had in 2017, but didn't really have the time to talk about it. So in 2017, there was an article, and there's plenty articles you can choose from. A lot of news companies or news sources ended up picking up the story, but the story is there's back then it was a 120-year-old man who claims that he's Hitler, and that's the picture of Hitler on the right and the guy on the left, and how he's been living in Salta, Argentina. So I'm like, that's pretty much a hand-delivered story for Call of Duty, because if you spell Salta backwards, it's Atlas, like the Atlas Corporation. I'm like, that could be the backstory of how Atlas got its name. I know there probably is a backstory how it got its name, but what if if it kind of had like another secret back meaning? Um, and I remember wanting to tell this to Cameron Dayton, how it would be cool. Maybe I'll still tweet it to him on Twitter, but maybe I don't even know who's writing the story for World War II Vanguard Zombies, but how cool it would be if Atlas Corporation got its name by this guy or family or descendants, relatives or whatever, that was living in Salta, Argentina, playing along with the real life, backstory, and that's maybe how Atlas got its name. I mean, it's so weird how stuff works out. Like, you don't even have to do it. It's like the story's pretty much written for you there, that you can connect it to real life events. And he's been living in Salta, Argentina for the last 70 years. He's 128 years old, which I don't even know if that's probably possible. He's probably only in his 80s, but he's probably making up a story. And I guess there's a lot of Nazi memorabilia in Argentina. A lot of them probably went hiding in South and Central America and stuff like that. But anyways, that's pretty much the story. He's 128 years old, thinks that he's Hitler, but he's probably only like 80. He probably just made up a story. But to kind of play off real life events like that, kind of like the real life Willard Wyler and Nocturne Toten, Die Machine, giving us the story of the B-17 and what happened, would be kind of an awesome idea. But I'll kind of cut it short, because I don't want to make it sound like I'm trying to convince, or this is definitely going to happen, or like, oh, I have secret inside information that it's going to link between World War II and the Atlas Corporation. I'm just saying, like, how great it would be, because I tell everyone I'm way too old to get invited to any of the studios. It'd be kind of awkward to be there with a bunch of 20-year-olds. But it's still cool of like enjoy. Like, I just want a good story or good game to play and stuff like that, where like you get your money's worth basically. And I'm one of those people where I'm like, I just want a good story, and I'm like, how perfect it would be. And this is going back 4 years now. How perfect it would be that Cameron Dayton and his World War II Nazi story ends up linking this real life story with with you know, Atlas Corporation. But things were a lot different back then. I guess they're seeing the importance of linking stuff together, how stuff actually has a meaning, which it kind of always did. I think they're just doing a better, more obvious job now. I'm talking about Call of Duty and Activision, to show people how everything may have already been linked together in the past, but they're probably making it a little bit more obvious. Again, that was one thing with Jason Blundell also, with the Quinorium, how people wanted all that to be in games, not necessarily just written down on paper. How this is the type of stuff that we want to see. We want to see like, you know, Strangler on on Mars, and we want to see like these crazy little ideas, Easter eggs, played out in real life. How cool would be like this real life kind of Easter egg or story ends up playing out in the game? Like that stuff like that would pay off so huge, I think. And obviously, again, like I said, it definitely worked for Cold War. There's like 7 million views, which would be awesome. To have something like that where like maybe, I know it's probably too late to start it for the first map, but maybe like somewhere down the road, it'll show like a link between, you know, Hitler and Atlas Corporation. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Thanks.